Hey everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. My name is Harmon. Today's video takes us to a town called Woodstock, Illinois. And this is where a unfortunate double murder happened of a older couple. I'm going to get into all the details, of course, of this case, but we're going to walk to the house where this happened. So I'm going to show you guys where the double murder happened. And again, tell you guys more about this unfortunate event. Now, this story involves a family, a father whose name was Ray, who was 43, his wife, Ruth, was 45, and they had 3 children, Colleen, who was 17, Matthew, who was 11, and Stephen, who was 15. Now, Colleen met Richard Church, her eventual ex-boyfriend, at a local Catholic high school that they both attended. Colleen was a sophomore while Richard was a senior. They gave a timeline of Colleen and Richard dating for 2 years. However, when Richard went away to college, Colleen and Richard's relationship became very, very strained. And as you can imagine, Richard did not take the relationship troubles well. He continued to call Colleen from his college dorm room, very upset and just on edge. When she said that she was busy doing something or doing homework, he would just get more and more upset. Now, in June of 1988, so about 2 or 2.5 months before the murders, Richard came home from college. And this is when Colleen told him that they needed to break up. She told him that he was way too possessive of her, and she just didn't want to be in a relationship with him anymore. However, she told him that she wanted to, quote unquote, remain friends. Now, as I said, 2 months later, on the night of Saturday, August 20th, 1988, Colleen had a friend over spending the night, as did Matthew. And so there was 4 children in the home that night. The middle son, Stephen, was not home at the time. Richard again called Colleen and asked what she was doing. She told him that she didn't want to talk to him until later. And later came at about 5:15, Sunday, August 21st. Richard broke into their house and brutally attacked them. He first went into Raymond and Ruth's ground floor bedroom and stabbed both of them to death. He then went upstairs and stabbed Matthew twice in the hallway, and that is when Colleen woke up and saw Richard in the hallway. She ran to another room to call 911. However, he broke into that room and began to stab her. At this point, she decided to play dead in hopes that maybe Richard would go away. However, he did not. And so she decided to run outside. She finally collapsed in the middle of the street, as you can imagine, just covered in blood and stab wounds. Thankfully, neighbors came to her aid before Richard could attack her any farther. Matthew finally was able to call 911, and police arrived merely minutes or so after the attack. A police officer went and searched the home and found Matthew upstairs, of course injured, while the 2 friends they had over were not hurt at all. The police, of course, found Raymond and Ruth's bodies, as they were both pronounced dead on scene. As soon as Richard stopped the stabbing spree, he immediately ran about 12 blocks back to his house and began packing his belongings. And about 5:45 a.m., only about 30 minutes or so after the murders, he took his mom's truck and just vanished. Thankfully, Colleen and Matthew both were treated at the hospital for their stab wounds, and both of them survived. Although it was not an easy recovery, as Colleen had been stabbed at least 20 times, and many of them being in her head and chest. Now, what's crazy about this case is the fact that it took over 3 years for Richard Church to finally be brought into custody. He was found in a fast food restaurant in Salt Lake City in November of 1991. A detective who actually recognized Richard from an FBI wanted poster. Now, at the time, Richard was living under an assumed name, which was Danny Lee Carson. And so he was able to kind of hide under the radar for a few years until he was finally caught. Now, Richard went to trial in July of 1992. He pled guilty to the murders in hopes of avoiding the death penalty. And as a result, he was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Again, what makes this case just really sad and heartbreaking is the fact that this kind of murder spree, if you will, it seems like it's more and more common, and especially when it involves a couple who broke up. And most times when the couple breaks up, one of the parties is, again, not happy and decides to kill the other party or attempt to kill them or kill anyone around them that they know. And again, it's just unfortunate because this type of event just kind of continues to happen. Colleen's parents, they just never thought that anything like this would ever happen. They thought that the breakup would just end and that they could just go on living their lives. And so it's just really sad and unfortunate what happened to them. Anyway, so here is the final resting place of Ray and Ruth Ritter. Again, guys, I'm going to head out of here. Thanks so much for watching. As always, my name is Harmon, and I hope to see you guys on the next video. If you're new, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.